What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I just wanted to go into tonight's night. No hiding it. Horrible hit rate. I think I came through at like a 20% rate or something like that tonight. We lost quite a couple leg twos. Just not a good night at all. The Grizzlies were basically the only silver lining. What I can say is, if you know me and if you know my channel, we went undefeated yesterday in the NBA. I wasn't bragging about it. I just let people know that we're always going to want to close sequences because it's not fun when we lose leg threes, which it's been a little bit, but we lost that Tulsa leg three, and that's a net 7. As you know, if you saw some recent videos, I did a little bit of chasing with Jake Paul. His lack of a right hand cost us 11. So a lot of units lost, but we picked up a bunch, and that's what I was trying to explain yesterday. We got Wyoming. We got a couple leg threes. We got the Magic. That's 8 units. All for a net of 1 unit, of course. And tonight, it's kind of the opposite. Tonight, we had a lot that did not go our way. So, again, this is why I didn't do a bunch of leg threes today. A, we don't have that many leg threes. Now we have some. And B, I do leg threes with games I like, so I don't like to rush them. So right now we have a couple open leg twos, which means we would be going 4 units on the next one for Georgia State's loss, for Stetson's not going under, etc. But it doesn't mean we rush them all tomorrow. That being said, I do have a good bit of plays. We are playing every hockey game because every hockey game has a team that's like bottom or top 3 on the spread. And on top of that, it offers good value. And we're playing a good bit of college. And then I haven't looked at the NBA yet. It looks pretty plentiful, though. Now, I wanted to go into this because this is so important. I started doing this with the NFL. Okay, I did it with the Atlanta Falcons with the first team. And the Broncos. The Broncos were not going over, and the Falcons were not. They were covering every spread. So sure enough, once there was the Falcons were about 5-6-0, we started fading them, and we hit them, I think, by the second week. And then we just started doing that with every team that was really good or really bad against the spread, or really good or really bad against on the over under. And this might sound boring, but this is why we're almost up 100 units. So there was a time when UAB, when Pepperdine, when San Diego, when Toledo, when Denver, when Navy, heck, even Xavier, were all over 80% on the over. And I told people, find me a year in history when that's ever happened. It just doesn't happen. This was the COVID year, so you're going to see some higher numbers from short. And even then, I wouldn't count a 3-0 team, but 78% would be the highest. And you can go back as far as you want. You just don't see it. So all we did was pick spreads. I didn't know anything about these teams until it dwindled down, and now we're in the historical norms. So it worked for football. It worked for basketball. It worked for NBA when we started there. If you guys remember, the Mavericks let us down a little bit, but outside of that, we got the Heat. We started fading Sacramento and Portland early against the spread. We started fading Denver. I think they were covering a lot, and it was just that. We were hitting the Clippers. They were like 20% on the over. Now they're 40% because these numbers just don't hold. So why do I keep stressing this? Because it doesn't matter which sport if you know this. I was going to do women's basketball, but I guess it's so trash they don't even have spreads to offer. So there's no way for me to check. If someone could find me that tool, that'd be great. Speaking of, there is one team left that we can argue is flirting with historical defiance here, with Tulsa here. Not that it hasn't happened. In fact, last year Pacific did finish 15.4. But Tulsa would be worse than that. And if you go back, and again, this is full schedules, 22%, 27%. Tulsa would be the worst team against the spread in quite some time. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but that combined with the fact that when you don't cover the spread, the casual public, see again, that's 8 games. So if we go to the first full schedule, we're at 28. That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't happen. But Pacific did do it, so I'm not saying Tulsa can't. But my point is, the more games, typically not. Tulsa's playing an extra 2 games than Pacific did. And more people are going to be not taking Tulsa with how horrible they've played. So, not to belabor it, but I love this play. This is a leg 3 for me, which means I play it for 4 units. 1 unit for leg 1, 2 units for leg 2. If that loses, 3 units for leg 3, 4 units for leg 3, and then we close it out. Sometimes leg 4. As far as the over-unders, most of them are within historical norms. A lot in the 70s and a lot in the 20s. Usually it's more 30s and high 60s. So this is literally all I've used. And as you can see, using this right now, we stand up 96 units, notwithstanding our open sequences. So with all the sequences in play tomorrow, we'll probably have about 75 units, depending how they go. We could cross 100, but we're doing a couple leg threes. So my goal is just to split, but I just wanted to show you guys the number aspect of it because it's so vitally important. We got Wyoming over Nevada on that very metric. I liked Wyoming to cover for a few reasons. Nevada was really good against the spread, Wyoming was really bad against the spread, and the line was fishy. To me, those three things were great. I almost wanted to take the money line. We didn't, but we got the cover. That's more important, just closing out the sequence. But we have a lot of leg 2 losses, so let's plug them in. Notre Dame Pitt, we're going to play it as a leg 1. Pitt's good on the spread, but they're nothing against history. Notre Dame's not great on it, but they're nothing against history, so there's no reason to rush it. The line didn't seem that suspicious, so I like it as a leg 1. Tulsa USF under, that one's a leg 1 also, just because we're playing Tulsa already. We lost 14 units once playing Tulsa and the under, and both as leg 3s, and it's just a lot to put into one game. And my theory was if Tulsa wins or covers, it'll probably go under, but USF's really good on the over as well, so we'll play as a leg 1, but I do like that to go under. Now, again, speaking of that game, my absolute favorite play is going to be Tulsa to cover USF. I've been waiting on this game for like 4 days. If you guys don't remember, I put out a video not that long ago, and we'll just plug it in for the Georgia State loss. Again, it doesn't matter which leg 2 loss you plug it in for. I just think it's fitting we plug it in for a college one. All right, so that's our first leg 3. Again, I don't have NBA in. I haven't looked into NBA yet. Right now, we're just looking at college, and I got some hockey plays. Grand Canyon, South Utah, I like this one because Grand Canyon's been going over, and they're pretty high on the over. Basically, all these teams in the 70s, I don't think they're going to all hold. So that's why I took a lot of these as leg 2s. I don't think we're going to have 5, 6, 7 teams finish 70% on the over, or 5, 6, 7 teams finish 20% on the under, or vice versa, 20% on the over. So we'll plug that in as a leg 2. And that leaves just a few more. We got Wagner, Sacred Heart. This one I like as a leg 3. Wagner's been going under a lot, and they went under against Stonehill. They went under against, I think it was St. Francis. And I could just see people slamming the under with this team. On top of that, we also have, again, I don't think this many teams finish. We have Wagner. We got Merrimack. Merrimack kind of climbed out of the 20s, but we got Stonehill. We got St. Francis. A lot of teams low on the under, so I'm going to play this as a leg 3 because I think there's a good chance that with the teams in the 20s, we at least see 60% of them go over. I just don't see people slam. I looked at the line too, unless they move it a lot, which they might. It looks like, I think it was like 130 or something. So usually for Wagner it would be lower. So again, with all these, I say get as close as you can to the ESPN closing line because it is metrics and they use ESPN, like team rankings that I was just on. They use ESPN as their official closing metric. But even a couple hours of the game is fine. But if you do it 12 hours before the game, you might get 3 points different than what the closing line is. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. But I do like that one enough to play it as a leg 3. I think it's a good metric. And then back to leg 2s, I like St. Francis, New York here, and Farley Dickinson to go over. They've played a few times and haven't gone over. And also, and again, you can see most of our losses tonight were leg 1s, which is good. Again, leg 2 and 3s are what we really don't want to lose. We've been doing good with leg 3s. But yeah, I think this one goes over. I think a lot of people are going to be slamming the under. Both teams not great on the over. So again, it's just a metric that's been working. Now, all that leaves is hockey. And the first one I like here is the Rangers to cover the Flyers. It's the first time we're attempting a plus odds hockey as a leg 2. I was doing a lot of, as you can see, we've done them only as leg 1 so far because it's more of a high risk play. But the line's not that appealing, and that's why I like it a little more. I think people are going to be more appealed by the Flyers with the 1.5 or the Flyers money line than they're going to be appealed here. You're laying a goal and a half and just getting a little better than even. So that's why for this one I do like it as a leg 2, Rangers to cover. And if you haven't seen my hockey videos, it's a shame because I know people don't love hockey, but it's by far paid us out the best. That's been the consensus. Just because of all the plus odds, we only need 50%. We're doing even better, and that's getting like plus 200 sometimes. So anyway, Rangers cover Flyers. We're going to make that a leg 2. And we're going to do this with the Oilers and Leafs under. This is my favorite hockey play, by the way, Oilers, Leafs under. So if you're just really itching and like you really want to play one of my hockey plays more than the others, not for value, but just because the Oilers are like 40-17 on the over. And just like all sports, I don't think it's going to hold. I don't think they're going to finish, high 70s on the over. And people are probably going to slam it for that reason as well. So I do like the Oilers to go under, and they play the Leafs. Stars, Coyotes, opposite. Stars are really bad on the over, so I think they'll go over. People will probably be slamming the under on that one. And again, we don't have to hit all these. Our goal is to split or better, of course, but I think we do well, and especially, again, with some of them are getting plus odds, so that's always nice. And then we got 2 more here. I got the Avalanche Devils over. That's just going to be a leg 1, okay? Avalanche because they're bad on the over. And again, wait for the closing spread because it might close at 5.5, might close at 6. You can always buy the half, but that's your prerogative. I just say get ESPN's closing spread or better. There's people that'll get 3 points worse because of FanDuel or something, and it's for a reason. So I always try with hockey. Obviously, it's gonna be a half a goal, but usually it's lined up pretty good with hockey. It's pretty universally aligned, which I like. Last one, I like the Ducks to beat the Capitals. I thought about making it a leg 2. It'd be a nice payout. But then don't forget, even just winning it as a leg 1 is 1.6 to 1. Almost, 2 legs, almost there. So to me, it's worth playing as a leg 1. And we have you can see we have a lot of leg. I don't want to force too many leg 2s, leg 3s tomorrow. We got 2 leg 3s going with Tulsa covering and with Wagner going over. Those are my 2 favorite plays. And there's a couple of these, like the Oilers, I thought about maybe okay, but there's going to be other games that present themselves, and we don't have, like, these are really our only open sequences here. We closed all the ones yesterday, so there's no need to rush leg 2s, leg 3s. This is just what I'm personally doing, and that's what I always tell people. If you just copied every single video I've done, this is where you'd be at. There's people up more because they've done parlays. There's people up less because they've skipped plays, but this is exactly every single play we've done. So we could cross 100 tomorrow, but then again, a leg 3 loss is 7 units, so we got 2 of them in play. It's really going to just be on Tulsa and Wagner, really. And some of the hockey plays will come through since they'll be plus odds. This is, again, I've gone over this a few times, not to belabor it, but this is, so 15-14, not the best record in the world, but we're only picking over-unders and look at this, plus 150, 125, 225. So I'm only picking it for getting plus odds or better, even or plus. So, we shouldn't be at 50, honestly. So the fact that we're at 50, of course, means we're going to be profiting. So that's amazing. And you can join that with the system, and I think it makes it even better. Like, it'll be interesting if the Rangers cover tomorrow because it makes a leg 2 win more profitable than the leg 1 would have been, where normally it's always just 1 unit being profited. Now if we start doing hockey and we're getting plus 150 or whatever, here's a leg 1, but hypothetically if we ran this as a leg 2, then we're actually getting paid more on the leg 2 than we would have on the leg 1, which I've seen that system before, so it's not intentional the reason I'm doing it. I actually use the plays I like and the value. I understand they're not going to pay out a bunch of plus 200s, a bunch plus 150s. So that's why I don't pick, a bunch of hockey. My point is, it is interesting that just between these and I'm sure going forward, we're going to profit a lot more than just a unit for our hockey wins. So it'll be interesting to see how much it averages out to. It won't average out to 2, but it'll probably average out to probably 1.5 units, 1 for every hockey win, which is huge, obviously, when we're making thousands of plays. But not to belabor it, I know there's new people that watch, and I just want to explain to people, every one of these plays are on my playlist, put them in my Discord, and I update this every single day, wins and losses. We just haven't had a 3-leg loss in a while. Tomorrow we got a couple, though, in play, so we might have one. And the system's simple. 7 wins is 7 units. If we lose a leg 1, a leg 2, and a leg 3, that's 7 units. We need to win 8 units for every 3-leg loss. So 8 sequences. And we do that with ease. That's why we've been clobbered at Vegas. That's why we were shut down the first time. And with hockey, now we're only going to need about 6 sequences to close out a 7-unit 3-leg loss. So it's going to be very advantageous. Baseball is going to be the same. So everyone following, it's only going to get greater. I appreciate all of you guys. I know a lot of people just like to watch football. But for the people that are tailing and the people that are winning and the people that are supporting, I appreciate it. I really do. We're going to expand this. Like I said, I have an interview coming up. You guys are going to love that. And I'm going to expand as far as our picks and just ways we can optimize our bankroll. If we can make 100 units like this in just about 2 months, and this is me, I don't have any kind of supercomputer. This is just basic math. We can come together and make some crazy things happen, and that's what the Discord's about, and that's what the movement's about. So I noticed a lot of the other, people just kind of disappeared. Football season's not here. Makes sense. But again, we're about beating Vegas. If it's, I don't care if it's women's lingerie football, we're going to, and that'd be pretty fun to watch anyway. But we're going to beat Vegas, that we're going to continue to until we get our second badge of honor and get shut down again. So I think we go over 100 very soon. I've been saying that, I know, for a couple weeks. But Jake Paul cost us a little bit, but it's all right. I think with a decent day tomorrow, we can crack the 100 units, and that's net, by the way. That's it. Again, that's accounting for juice and all of our 3-legged losses and all of that. So I actually play a conservative number just because I like to account for juice, because obviously a lot of people just want to forget juice exists, etc. So we'd be over 100 units if I had not accounted for juice, but I have. So this is where we're at. We have a good bit of plays tomorrow. And with the NBA, hopefully, maybe it does put us over the 100. It'd be nice. It'd be fitting. And I think it's inevitable. We're going to do it. Just a matter of how high we climb. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.